welcome to another Kerfuffle webinar, and I am delighted to have it after hot-footing it back to Colombia to be just with us, and nothing to do with the fact that he's hoping to go to the Esters next week and pick up another award. We have Alex Evans of Estate Apps. How are you, Alex?
I am good, thank you, Simon. Hello.
Hello. I like that. This international jet set, obviously lifestyle, obviously is working for you.
And you've not mentioned my tan, my beautiful tan.
Genuinely, I was just kind of, I was just looking at my own papers, really, there more than but yeah, no, you're looking lovely. You're just making everyone else in this cold country feel really crap at the moment. So thank you for that. Right. Alex, first of all, I mean, we're going to go through, I think we're going to name absolutely every conference and awards that there is. So there's a lot of love in the world for the conferences and awards, and just the one we did a few weeks ago. Massive congratulations, because you were nominated in the top 40 innovations, were you not?
Yes.
Feature we're going to talk about here today. So well done on that. That's up against some particularly stiff competition as well.
Oh, cool. I mean, I didn't know what the competition was, obviously, but yeah, that's cool that we were professional.
I'm far too professional to tell you or to spill that information. But talk to me afterwards, and I'll tell you.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, yes, really proud. Yes, really proud.
Well, you don't sit on your laurels, do you now? I mean, I think one of the things that comes across from me is when you know me famously, it takes me about 600 takes to actually learn what people are talking about. But what I pay a lot of attention to, not least the reason I launched this wonderful Kerfuffle company, is that I really pay attention to what suppliers' clients say. And
yeah,
they are almost always talk very, very fondly of how much you work with them, listen to them, and are always trying to improve the platform. So I think that does deserve a shout out, and it sounds obvious, but you'd be amazed how few actually practice what they preach on that basis.
I would entirely agree. Thank you for your kind words. Yes, it's something we've always tried to. It's almost like the ethos of our company, really, is to try and. It's just to listen, make sure we're evolving in the right way, because we're not perfect. No one's perfect. No one can ever say they're perfect. It's all about a journey to try and get there one day. And I just love that journey.
I think it's really good. I mean, and what's interesting is we've always, every time I speak to you or any of your peers in this web world, actually, the only thing that you always seem to be very clear on is all of you say, look, it does obviously go with ourselves, but for God's sake, don't go with the local web guy, because the amount of industry-specific knowledge you have to deliver a really first-class property website, it takes a lot of experience, doesn't it? A lot of practice to really get it honed. There's loads of businesses, website companies outside of the industry that can make good-looking websites, but to get them fully functional with all the stuff you've got to do, that's another challenge, isn't it?
It is, and what a lot of people forget is the ongoing. A website isn't supposed to stay, static for more than any amount.
Christmas, Alex. It's not just for Christmas.
Exactly. That should be my new slogan. But no, and obviously with a third party, it's just going to cost more and more money because they're building it bespoke to you. Where we, on the other hand, with a lot of the features, the one I'm just about to talk about, or we're just about to talk about, I didn't charge anyone to build that. That rolls out across our entire platform for the price, the subscription that they already pay us.
That's really good. That sounds good, because that is one of the things that frustrates people, isn't it? Is that there's the perception with web companies that there's always an extra chip, there's always there's always another big bill coming, isn't there? Which obviously doesn't frustrate people.
There doesn't have to be, is all I'm saying.
Cool. Where do you, Alex? Just on that, where do you position yourself in terms of the market? Are you firmly middle in terms of marketplace? I know you do some very top end websites, but where do you perceive most of your business coming from?
Most of our clients are 1 to 3 branch, so price is always it's not a sensitive subject, but it's always, I mean, as you know, it's obviously a big factor. Especially because a number of agencies still don't quite understand the importance of a website. Are
you stunned by that, even at this?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're the same, but I literally get people trying to sell my house on a regular basis. They send me letters, the same old spiel. And the first thing I do is check them out online. That's the first thing I do. Obviously, I'm in this industry, but I'm not going to be the only one that does that.
No, you're,
you know?
you're a particular train spotter in this area, you know, as I would be.
Yeah,
there.
but at the same time, it's still baffling that people don't realize the power of. I mean, that people still get the feeling that, I get the feeling that they still put too much emphasis on the portals, Rightmove and so on, and that's not something any agent should do.
Well, I want to come back to
Rightmove,
the portals later because we had a good chat today about that, and I think there's an angle I'd like to just discover there. But I think that something I can't remember who said it to me. I'll pretend it was me. But when they talk about your website being your corporate brochure, you know, that is the first place. It's your most visible digital office per se, isn't it? If you look in terms of traffic, it would blow away the traffic that goes into the traditional offices.
All the social media traffic, you get leads through, you'll get traffic through Google, which obviously is going to be the biggest source. You'll get it through Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you post on social, you'll see traffic coming through. Obviously, if you analyze your stats, you'll see traffic coming through from those platforms. And obviously Google being the biggest one, obviously the first thing they're going to see is the little 5 stars or the stars. Again, another conversation, but yeah, these are all things that are digitally, they're just massive.
Is it getting better post? I mean, if the lockdowns didn't convince people of the importance of websites, then nothing will really, will it?
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely true. Yes, no, for sure. I'm starting to see a lot more agents. They're kind of clued up before I even speak to them, which is a good thing. They know what they want, they need to do. They know what they want to do. They just don't know how to do it. So they want to look better on Google. They want to get more traffic to their website. They want to build SEO. They want to get on the first page of Google. That sort of stuff. They're the conversations I have a lot more now. Where before, I just want a new website, Alex.
Yeah, okay. And actually, this new feature came from just one of those conversations with one of the very best agents out there, of course, Mr. Matt Giggs himself. And he was having a chat with you, talking about what ifs, maybes, and would this be possible? Do you want to just first of all just give us a flag of what the new bit of functionality is, and then we'll talk about how it came about.
Actually, I'm going to do the opposite, if you don't mind. Let me talk about how it came about first, because I think that'll make more sense.
There's you taking back control of the interview. Wow, okay.
Well, didn't want to say. Okay, so it started off, one of our clients who just does lettings said, "Oh, Alex, I want obviously doing a new website. I really want to focus." They sponsor the Dogs Trust as a charity. So I thought, oh, that's cool. Don't know many agents that certainly don't talk about that sort of stuff. So we thought, I wonder if there's a feature that we can build that allows people to search on pet-friendly properties on the website. This particular client works with a CRM called 1090, which I'm sure you've obviously heard of. But we can do the same functionality in Dupix as well, whereby basically we can pull through a field that basically just marks, oh yeah, that property is pet friendly. So what we did, and I'm just going to quickly share my screen just so you can see it. Where are we here? So the company is DMK. And obviously they do rent, they don't start doing sales, or they're just about to do sales. But as you can see, the new field is here. Yes, I have a pet. So the default is not worried. I'm not bothered. But I've selected, yes, I've got a pet. As you can see here, we've got a nice little paw icon.
I do love that. That is cool.
Nice little paw icon. No, Simon, wait for it. Wait for it. We click on one. Look what happens. There's little paws.
Okay. Yeah, you had me at pause, as they say.
Anyway, no, that's one of my own little things. But nonetheless, the point is you can search for pet-friendly properties, and that made me think, do you know what? We could do a lot more with this. The problem, as I just mentioned there, just very briefly, is it was only 1090 and Dupix that I could actually do it with, because they were the only ones flexible enough to add in a new field as and when I needed it.
So this is a shout out really to the other CRMs then to get yourself in order. Really.
Yeah, I mean this is going back a year now, so I mean over a year now, but nonetheless, yes. So yeah, they were the two that were flexible enough to allow me to do this. Yeah, just by asking. All I had to do was ask. Didn't have to pay a fee, nothing like that. So that was cool. Then moving on to Mr. Matt Giggs. Matt messaged me. So obviously he's already a client of ours. He messaged me in November. I was still in Columbia at the time. He just messaged me he sent me a voice note, by the way.
Oh my God. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what?
So it's not just me that sends them, is the point I was trying to make there. Anyway, so he said, Alex, I have a question for you. When was the last time you heard anyone in a estate agency, when they're promoting properties, talking about wheelchair access and just disability in general?
Yeah.
I had to think about that for a little while. I've been in the property industry for at least 15 years now, and I struggle. I mean, I couldn't honestly think of a single time that I'd ever seen it. I might have missed something, I don't know, but it's certainly not a big thing. I don't know about you. What do you?
Right, I think you're spot on. And actually, it's got to be a weekly challenge for people talking to estate agents up and down the country, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a huge thing. I mean, here's me getting all happy about pet-friendly search filters, and sort of wheelchair access, disability. That has just completely missed. Well, everyone.
What's really critical about this, Alex, what you're highlighting here is that although they must be quite specific niche requirements, they are absolutely fundamentally important to those people who fit into essentially that tick box, isn't it? I mean, what's really fascinating, Alex, is I was doing my annual interview now with Michelle Gallagher of JDG, obviously on winning the Estate Agent of the Year for the second year, and she had Boots, their dog, the office pet in there, and she was talking about the propensity and frequency of homeowners that obviously do have pets. And that, you know, that need and requirement for properties to be able to cater for it. So
So well, see, again, you've just by default flipped back to pets, which is fine. That obviously affects rentals, obviously not sales. But nonetheless, the core reason we built it was the feature is for the wheelchair side of it, because the disability side of it, sorry, because to us that was a massive omission by not just us but everyone, and so we wanted to do something about that. Basically, that was the core reason why we did it. That we banged our heads together for a little while. We started to realize that the only thing, because again, don't forget, I could do a wheelchair friendly search using Dupix and or 1090, but that's not helping all of our clients. That's helping 2 sets. That's not enough. So we needed something which didn't need the CRM to be involved. We could just do it ourselves. So literally within, I don't know, about 3 weeks of that conversation, maybe 4 weeks, we introduced into our entire feed system basically a scanner, and it just scanned all the property description text and the bullet points, picking out keywords. And this then evolved into, basically those keywords can be, I created a generic list. So for example, parking, swimming pool, balcony, pet friendly, eco-friendly is a big one now. Eco-friendly. I can literally add to this list whenever I want. But anyway, this list is generic. Next to this is what we call tagging. So we're just tagging properties with what we find. Within each tag, we've got a set of keywords. So for example, under wheelchair access, we've got lift access. We've got single level floor, because obviously, you know, we've got step-free access. We've got all sorts of different things that come under that.
Basically, from my understanding, you know, this opens it up almost limitlessly for the agent to decide, especially if they're in niche areas where, you know, there are particular property quirks and things like that. They can accommodate their local marketplace without having to do hard-coded changes. Is that right?
Oh, dude, you're getting in. You're taking away my surprise.
Oh, okay. To be honest, this is a first that I've understood something straight away. So I
mean, even I'm quite impressed. So to be fair, that's well done you. So anyway, in terms of the wheelchair access, I'm just going to quickly show you. This is Matt Giggs, as you can see here. I've selected wheelchair accessible here. At the moment, he's only got one listing. He had, when we first built it, he had about 5 or 6. But nonetheless, it's not a competition. The point is, this is actually a wheelchair friendly property.
Got you.
Where we've evolved this though, I don't know if you can see this.
I
You
can
see
see
the
that. Yeah,
keywords here.
yeah.
So I can search for anything I want here. Interestingly, only stuff that our list is actually, there's probably about 40 things on our list, tags on our list. We only show the stuff that, number one, the agent wants us to show,
Yes.
and number two, more importantly, that has actually got results next to it. So if it has nothing, then we won't show it by default.
Oh, that's clever.
Obviously, we don't want the user to find, oops,
frustrated.
no properties found.
Yeah.
Which
That's really
obviously
clever.
this is all about the user experience at the end of the day. But what this allows me to do is search on things like that I wouldn't normally be able to search on. So for example, new homes not even on here, but development opportunity. You've got retirement properties, you've got no onward chain. That's a massive one. You won't believe how many people search for on Google for properties with no onward chain. Well, I didn't even know that.
I've just been listening to the news again, people talking again about, collapsing chains left, right, and centre there. So, fantastic functionality to be able to have that. That's really clever. I just want one other angle. I mean, that's got to help you pitching as well, isn't it? That you can show that you can best market, that person's property. If you have built, obviously, it's all about comparables and everything else. But I'm guessing, well, over time, if let's say you became you were just forever selling properties, I don't know, hot tubs or the retirement ones, that gives you an element of being able to pitch for those specific types of property much more, doesn't it? And it actually almost gives you marketing content.
No, dude, listen, that's exactly right. Imagine being on social media, you putting out a post. Are you looking for a property with a hot tub in Hull?
I love that. From an SEO perspective. I mean, again, niche.
Oh no, dude, SEO has got. Sorry, just to backtrack. We've only actually we've launched this. We've gone through a bit of a journey. We started in November 2021. Within a month, we had this initial filter feature here. It wasn't, from our point of view, good enough. So we kept it in beta. We kept it testing it, playing around with it. The bit that then we've actually only just in the last, say, 3 months started pushing it out to clients. So the first one that had it was obviously Matt Giggs on Giggs & Co. But we've only just started really pushing it out to our entire platform. The reason it took so long, though, is something you touched on just a moment ago. We've got our generic list of keywords. Yes. And that bit, easy. From our point of view, it didn't take long for us to do that. The real difficult bit, though, was our clients can go into our CMS and literally rip up my list and start again and put their own stuff in it. And as you correctly said, they can do whatever the hell. If you do a lot of farms, rural stuff, if you do a lot of I don't know, sort of higher end properties, they've got their own sort of caveat niches and things like that you might want to focus on. Well, you could literally just go nuts and just create your own list, and there suddenly your list is completely unique to you.
Well, the reason we put this in the top 40 was when we looked, it was one of those, just on the face of it, it's just so so obvious, so simple and everything else. But what was clear was it wasn't out there. It wasn't happening enough. And so I think that, what is the core reason, most people would just, for a property website is to help people find their dream home based on their own specific requirements. And this can only help that to the nth degree, can't it?
No, exactly. And obviously from an agent's brand perspective, if they're one of the few that actually do it, obviously eventually, it'll become standard. I have no doubt. But for you to be one of the few that do it, and obviously having on social media, you're looking for hot tubs or you're looking for retirement properties in Croydon or wherever. And then just click through and you just see a list of those exact properties. You can't, that's gold. That is gold. Because you're looking different from everyone else.
He didn't do the hard sell then, so I will do. So if you fancy getting ahead of the competition before this becomes ubiquitous, give Alex a call. Obviously, going via the Kerfuffle website, that goes without saying. This is really good. This is really good, Alex. It's a really nice.
Yeah, it's honestly, Simon, it's one of the most. And I get excited about a lot of the stuff that we do. Obviously, but this is one of the few things that I've really. I don't know. It's for me. I don't want to use this word lightly, but like a game changer type thing.
Yeah.
It's something that I know is going to have a massive impact on anyone that we've already seen some massive gains. SEO, you mentioned it again. You mentioned it earlier. SEO already just doing Google searches on wheelchair accessible properties in St. Neots, in wherever, you start to see listings that you didn't have before. You know, and you're not going to, of course, you're not going to get millions of hits to those, but obviously the whole point of Google is the more niche the term that you use, and if you're number 1 or 2 or in that top 10, you're laughing. That's where you want to be.
There's 2 points here about accessibility, isn't there? There's the people talking about accessibility in terms of literally making the properties, but you know, we're also you've got to be able to cater for that demographic in the right fashion. And that, well, you know, there's a real social element to this as well, isn't there?
No, this is it, and it's usability, isn't it? It's making your clients, your potential clients, lives easier. And for me, it just doesn't get, they're already used to Airbnb and booking.com and hotel.com and so on. They're already used to that. You can already do that there. Right. I just couldn't believe, or certainly I'd never seen it in the property industry. I'd just never seen it. I just couldn't believe it.
I had a good look around loads of them, and we were obviously reviewing it. I couldn't find anything like that.
It's just not there, and I just found that baffling. I just didn't understand. And for such a simple thing, all we're doing is scanning the description of the bullet points. I mean, why has no one thought of that before?
But that in itself has got to be some quite clever tech. When you say it, it sounds so easy to a non-techie like me, but actually there's got to be quite a
I mean, it took a while to perfect, and obviously it's never going to be perfect. Don't get me wrong, it's never going to be perfect. So for example, random example, we were looking, I was looking at a set of data the other day, and obviously hot tub, obviously spending most of the last 3 years in Colombia, hot tubs are my favorite thing.
Oh boo-hoo, Alex.
well, anyway, but no, and we were looking and we thinking, hang on, why is this agency's got hot tubs mentioned in the filter? Why is that? Because they don't have any. They don't have any listings that included a hot tub. We looked at the description text, they're putting in things like hot tub not included.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I don't know why you would do that, but nonetheless, that's like saying, oh yeah, this property's got something, but we're going to take it away.
Just I want to see your lovely face again. Can you stop? Unless you.
Oh, sorry.
Anything else to share? If you could just stop that screen share that.
No. Well, I mean, the other thing I was going to mention was we on the detail page of the property, we like you see here, we actually highlight all the tags for this property. So what this property offers is, so this property here has got a garage, it's got a garden, it's got a hot tub, and it's got parking. And again, that's just our way of trying to make it clear to the user what's there.
But critically, because obviously people can do that on the site, but at the moment they're having to do that all themselves, whereas what you're doing
I mean, you'd have to read. Yeah, exactly. You'd have to read the description text, which most people aren't going to do. You know.
So that tagging, thank you. That tagging, that searching that you're able to do in terms of filtering and stuff, has that now made it completely CRM feed agnostic? So this will just work with.
It's across all our clients. It's literally across, and we've been doing it since November. And interestingly, and this is another thing for the agents themselves, I'm hoping Matt won't mind me saying this, but when we first introduced the feature to his site, because that was the first one we started to really play around with it on, wasn't many tags coming up. Looking at the description text, we knew why, because the text was like 1 line, 2 lines maximum. There was nothing to go on.
Was that because the trend the last few years has been minimalizing the?
Yeah. And it was funny because we started to say, guys, listen, for this to work, right, you need to put some text in. You know, sounds quite basic and obvious, but it is. But it's true. And then, but suddenly started to. They went through a whole training thing with all the staff and so on. And now the description text is so much better. And it's a journey that all our clients are no doubt going to have to go on at some point soon.
But you can talk them through that. You will.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, Simon, it's nothing more than make it detailed. Put some detail in it. You know. That's the key point.
The clue's in the name, really, isn't it?
I mean, it is.
Okay, so you, hats off. You know, you've obviously been very busy, but I mean, it's not just there, is it? So we mentioned the Esters earlier. Obviously, they're coming up in a few weeks.
Next week, actually.
You've got your fingers crossed. You've got everything crossed, haven't you? But you're on the back of almost a Real Madrid style assault on that trophy, aren't you? just talk us through where you're there.
We won our fourth. We're going for our fifth in a row.
And is that what's the category? Is just websites? Is it a website?
It's digital marketing. So
Digital marketing,
wow.
wow.
He started off on websites. It evolved into digital marketing. But
So
I'll be honest, I don't know what the category is this year because it's.
Well, I was going to say, but digital marketing is a really widespread. You've got some amazing companies in there, haven't you? So you know,
it's a big thing in there. Yeah,
doing that and to win that level of, and I always said, I mean, look, actually, it sounds ridiculous now because obviously, I used to always say winning isn't that important, as I sobbed when somebody else did. But actually, being nominated each year is a critical thing. You know, a lot of people look with a bit of cynicism at these, but when you've actually won it for that many years, that's not an aberration, is it? That's And I think one of the things I realised, I was looking at your you know, when I do the little bit of background that I'm meant to do on these, you've got a huge amount of Google reviews. I mean, what is it? Is it 200 plus?
270 odd. Yeah.
So put that in context before, because one of the things we always need to clarify here is agents might be used to think, well, doesn't sound that many, but agents have the luxury, like so many other businesses, of being consumer facing, aka having thousands and potentially millions of clients. Whereas in our much smaller B2B world, isn't it? Each one of those is worth many tens or you know, even hundreds of consumer reviews. So you can look at some of the biggest prop tech companies in this industry, and they might only have a handful of Google reviews. So that's pretty outstanding.
It's something I'm very proud of. Yes, but I've been pushed, as you well know. This is something I'm passionate about anyway. I can talk about reviews all day long. The Esters, I mean, Google is something I push all the time. I obviously push Kerfuffle reviews. Obviously, we've got over 100 on Kerfuffle as well.
You're very kind to mention it. Yes, and look. I don't think we're quite as big as Google yet, but we'll get there.
One day, Simon. One day.
The difference will be we will pay our taxes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not going to comment. Okay. But the Esters, the reason I like the Esters and the reason we took part in it, even from the very, very first one, is simple, because it's very much more customer focused. It's more based on what the actual customer or our client says.
Just to be clear, it's not based around, which are perfectly valid. It's just a different way of doing it. Yeah. But you're not looking at data points, or you're not doing a judge's entry and having this is literally about the feedback from the clients, isn't it? The Esters.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. And that's why it's something that's I'm also, again, hand in hand with the Google side. It's something I'm really passionate about, because that's what our ethos is all about.
And we do need to say it, because actually last year, I think, if I'm right in saying, we put in the top 40 innovations. You've got this fantastic tool, of course, that makes nurturing of all of the different reviews, actually, whether it's Kerfuffle, Google, Facebook, just so much easier for an agent. And what's the price point again? It's amazingly competitive, isn't it?
15 quid a month.
50 quid. I mean, it's just, for me, it's genuinely, it is, and I never put too many tags on this because it would water it down, but it is an essential. At that price point, it is a no-brainer. There's nothing more important than having
it's also worth noting, Simon, like with most of the things that we do, not all, but most, it's included in our website platform, so our clients don't pay for it. It's there already.
Nice.
Just like the tagging that I just talked about.
I see the trend you're trying to go for here, that you do a lot for your clients, that again is
no, but I mean, to me, that's something, again, my brother and I this is all we talk about. What else can we do? What's the next thing? Our roadmap for the next 6 months is insane, and I'm not going to share it with you now.
But what's my next question before we're done? Yeah.
But nonetheless, the developments we've got going on is just nuts, and this is stuff we're already working on. It just, annoyingly for us, it just takes time. We've got to be patient. I'm not the most patient person in the world, but I've just got to be patient, because it's stuff that just tagging on its own took nearly a year to find its way, to roll out.
That should take the competition, a longer period of time to catch up with you. But as I mentioned before, we've done the other two, and now we've got the final part of your triumvirate of the Grand Prix of awards is at the Negotiator as well. One of your clients, is it Ben Stevens, has been nominated for Best Website?
Benjamin Stevens, yes, has been nominated for Best Website. Yes, Negotiator. When is the Negotiator? It's November, isn't it?
November.
Yeah. So that's a nice touch. I wasn't expecting that, so that's a nice addition So yeah,
that's one of those wonderful ones where you can hold on to the coattails of your clients, isn't it, and do that there. So that's beautiful. Well, obviously, I'll be very close to you if you win, because as they famously know, Simon Whale is never more than 3 feet away from an award. So, if I can't win them myself, I will deviate to you.
Fair enough.
So good luck with that.
Thank you.
I mean, when you've got so much, obviously, social proof there in terms of all these very different ways at the main awards of saying this is a company we should be talking to, you've got the most prolific and transparent of all there with Google, and the wonderful Pink site, the premier B2B review site in the industry there. How do you do it? What does it mean to you to have that level of kind of belief and feedback from your clients?
It's what drives us, to be honest. It's what drives us. I mean, because we don't charge a lot for what we do either. We're extremely, I would use the word fair in our pricing. We're definitely not overpriced. Well, I don't think, although my brother feels like we're somewhat underpriced, and I've had that conversation numerous times. I feel like we're somewhere in between, and that's for what we do, the feedback that we get is what keeps us going.
I think that there's a wonderful almost quid pro quo though, isn't it? If you charge a fair price, people are really pleased to give you back the plaudits you deserve in terms of reviews. Whereas if you if you charge the Rolls-Royce price, you've got to just deliver 10 out of 10, and frankly, that's the expectation anyway, isn't there? So there's a great degree of logic about it being a positive, Don't
get me wrong, we didn't do it for gaining more reviews. But that is I feel like you're probably right, and to a certain degree, yes. But
I'm right so often accidentally, so don't that's the way I've always worked.
I am not going to comment. But yeah, no. Anyway, that's the way we've always been. So yeah, so it's something I set up my business when I was 17. I'm bloody 43 soon. And I still do what I do. So it's the fact that I'm still alive is a good thing. With
that wonderful skin tone and tan, we just couldn't believe that. It's obviously it's your lifestyle that's helping. But I wanted to, first of all, this is all fantastic, but there was one standout thing that we always try to ask people for standout stats and things like that. And the one you were giving us about across the amount of unique visitors you have across all of your websites. Yes. Do you want to just give us a bit of the context around that, and then that element about mobile? Because I think that is genuinely a really, really standout, an unexpected, an expected trend, but stark in how amazing just in how stark it is.
So we've got roughly 180 agency websites on our platform. On average, 1.5 million visitors, unique visitors going through it every month across the entire network. Just before COVID, I remember looking at the stats across the board, and the stats showed about 70% of that traffic was mobile.
Yep. Okay.
That's just before COVID. So that's what, 3 years, less than 3 years. That stat now, that same stat looks more like 85%, 87% in actual fact, just over 87%.
So if you haven't got a mobile optimized site, basically, you're only servicing, you're servicing 1 in 10 almost of the.
Well, I mean, the simple reality is you're not going to get as many leads through your site. You're just not.
And I'm right in thinking, aren't I, that Google is now punishing sites that aren't mobile optimized anyway, aren't they?
I mean, they've been doing that for years. So yeah, that's not a new thing. Exactly. And the other thing, of course, is the secure side of it. If your site isn't secure, the little padlock thing in the Google Chrome, then you're also not going to get a very good ranking in the search engine either. So
can't see my eyes diverting now as I just have a look at our own website just to check.
You are secure. It's fine.
Yay!
Don't worry.
Yeah. Don't worry. That's really ironic that Simon Whale's site is secure, actually.
I mean, yeah. Again, no comment.
No comment. But that is amazing, because it was probably about was it 9 years ago where that it flipped from being mainly desktop traffic to going to mobile being the majority. But that trend hasn't slowed at all, has it?
No.
I mean, it was even
even for me, that jump to somewhere near 90%. I mean, when you think about it, that is nuts.
No,
but that just shows that all that shows is that's the trend. That's that people are so used to being on their phone now that the desktop, the laptop, is becoming just obsolete.
yeah.
And that is just that in itself is just
I'm
nuts.
sat here with my MacBook Pro, and I'm thinking that's a really sad thing to think about. So an actionable task though that any agent can do is, I mean, most of these people will have access to their own Google Analytics, and it does have that stat, doesn't it, about they should be going for that, don't they? And looking at what percentage there, and then thinking, is our site, look at the experience on your iPad, on your mobile phone. And if it isn't delivering the way you think it, well, that's how it's going to be for the majority of your potential clients as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the simple test is just load up your site on your phone, and try and find the Book of Al.
Yeah, great.
How long does it take you? If it takes more than 2 clicks,
you're out.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem. How does the site attract you? Is it memorable? That's why background videos are quite powerful in that regard, because you want the site to be memorable. Most people are going to find their agent on Google. Well, if that's the case, then you want to stand out from the pack. So if they come to your site and it's not memorable, it looks like every other agent site, or it's got a property search that makes no sense because you've only got 10 listings, then don't show it. Just show what is going to matter, what's going to have a real impact on that person. So that's what I would do. Simple test. Simple tests.
Really sensible thing to do. So we'll advise everybody there. Well, thanks for that. That's a really standout stat. And it goes without saying that anybody who wants to know a bit more, go to obviously Estate Apps a landing page on kerfuffle.com. Have a look at all the information that we put on there. Look at all of those reviews from named agents out there that have gone out of their way to say why they think that this man here is the right person to have that most and it really is, isn't it, Alec? Thinking about it, it's one of the foundational pieces of your prop tech stack, isn't it? If your CRM needs to be working hand in glove with your website, and really, I mean, you could probably throw email in there, an EDM solution, but the website and the CRM are the things that make that tick over, aren't they?
When I talk to a lot of startups, the first thing I talk about is, right, have you got a CRM?
Yeah.
And then the second thing, okay, now you need to start thinking about your website, because the website is the hub, isn't it? It's the digital hub. All your traffic from everywhere, social media and likewise, is going to come to your site. So
here's one for you, because I've always been in many ways a small and bitter man. When I used to sell people sort of.
Sorry. Wait, you make it sound like you've suddenly grown taller.
Only in the seat. I used to get really bitter about, they would beat me up over the price of our CRM software. And, it was always seen a little bit great. But then you get them talking about the website, and it's as if they're showing off their car in the front drive. That, is something that they become truly proud of. And it is because they realize it's the face of the business, don't they? In a way that the CRM can only, it does the plumbing, the CRM, doesn't it? But the website, that's where the public see it at.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. The CRM is obviously behind the scenes, and obviously the easier to use that is, the better. Interesting. We're doing a lot more. Again, this wasn't the case a few years ago, but we're doing a lot more integrations with CRM. So they're opening up APIs. Again, APIs never existed.
I mean, this is a big trend, isn't it, now? So for years, you used to beat me up, and obviously all of the CRM, they used to have that closed garden approach.
Yeah. I mean, annoyingly, not a lot of them still do.
Yeah, well,
but nonetheless, that tide is slowly turning. So yeah, we do integrations. We started off doing a lot of integrations with Agent OS. That hasn't stopped. Okay. We do now do a lot more with Apex 27, and even Vibralto are getting on the act. My God, I never thought that beast would change.
Their numbers are going through the roof, aren't they? Because obviously we're upgrading some of their other packages.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, look, as I said to everybody, go to the site, and you have got a wonderful review offer. Sorry, haven't you, for our Kerfuffle members? So, from memory, if I'm looking here, you got the first 3 months standard subscription free of charge, which obviously is great in any market, but is fantastic in this marketplace. And also you get an SEO tech analysis of their website shortly after launch, which is free of charge, which is worth £150, which is lovely to have, isn't it? So that's great.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And just on that point, I mentioned there, actually, in any market, I'm guessing that you know one of the reasons you have been so busy is because agents themselves have been so busy they haven't, let's be honest, many of them haven't had a moment to stop the last 2 years, but they're coming out of that now and realizing that they're going to have the best tools at their disposal, aren't they? And website, again, at that point, I'm guessing, is that right? People are realizing that their site probably isn't fit for purpose as it stands.
Yes, I think to be honest, I think the biggest driver really it's probably a cost thing, is how much they're paying the portals and how little they're actually getting out of that relationship. That I think is probably the biggest driver. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, any business that has a good website is going to get good traffic for. I mean, we got an agency site, 1 to 3 branch, it gets 25,000 visits a month. Wow. I mean, that's nuts. for one independent agent, you know, that is nuts. So, and obviously the more traffic you get, the more leads you're going to get, then the more you're going to love your website, and so on and so on. So yeah, it's not going away, no. And I think nowadays people are definitely, agency owners are definitely waking up to it.
You're not seeing a trend with agents with no websites. We haven't gone that minimalist yet.
No. Luckily, we haven't gone there.
Okay, I think that's some fantastic, really innovative stuff there. Again, hats off to you for you and your bro keeping it going, listening to your clients. And it's always an absolute pleasure to catch up with you. As I said, I will see you over the coming weeks, no doubt hanging on to you very closely if you do win that. And until the next time, it'd be great to catch up with you again.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you.
Cheers.